Good morning, everybody. We will be with you shortly. Check, check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, drop a comment if you can hear us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get this show started. Give us 1 second to get going here. Got one more thing to take care of. Got Pedro in the house. We got a guest in the house that you're all gonna love. Yes.
Excellent. Guys, while Tom is taking care of the...
I'm getting ready to start here, though, Pedro.
Oh, well, I'm going to say they could hit the like, subscribe, and share button. In particular, share button, which has really been helping us out quite a bit. Are you guys going through? Go ahead, bud.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. So glad to be hosting another great show. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital world. It is June 9th, 2025. We're almost at Christmas. You know why? Because Target up here in Canada, Canadian Tire, is moving in the Christmas stuff already, getting ready for that consumer-based season. But is it going to happen with all the tariffs? Yes, they're trying to get everything in before the tariffs go up. Anyway, it's already a good week. You know why? Why is that, Pedro? Because Michael Saylor is buying more. So is the top in again? We shall see when Pedro goes over that. Also, the SEC, guess what? The SEC is back in business with enforcement. Not enforcement by regulation or regulation by enforcement, but enforcement by stopping fraud in the crypto area. So that's good news. And of course, Bitcoin right now is pumping out of its lows, out of the hundreds that it briefly touched down into over the weekend and moving back up. Is it going to do that, or is it still got a little pullback left? We shall see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the man in the box next to me, Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. What's happening, Pedro?
What's up, man? What's up? Is this going to be an protein-rich, egg-filled, amazing Easter egg, or is this week going to be a fast food pizza push-up but with no real calories? Let's see. You like how I did that?
Wow, look at that. Pedro's camera failed. I can't believe it.
All right, let's check out Bitcoin here real quick. All right, so like I always said, on the weekend, I was expecting us to either go down or up, was to set up for the weekend. And we saw a Saturday push up and a Sunday just kind
Pedro,
of
Pedro, you need to move your mic back into...
Is it too loud?
No, we couldn't hear you.
Okay, what about now? Is that better?
Much better.
Okay. Did you hear what I said about what type of week it's going to be?
Yeah, sorta.
Okay. Is this going to be a protein-filled, amazing get up and go? We're going to see some real volume coming in, like a big old egg filled with protein. Or...
Oh, yeah, I remember your camera conveniently failed right then.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I totally get it. All right. Or is it going to be a week filled with...
No, look at that. It pre-failed.
Oh man, you're killing me. You're killing me. Yes, or is this gonna be one of those weeks where it's all empty calories, like a pizza?
Man, I wish I had me some pizza right now.
And so we have a bunch of empty calories, and it's just silliness going on. So my hope is this: that Michael Saylor, hopefully, is not spooking the market. That we're gonna see this market push up, and my bags will be happy and let's go. But it all correlates with a down market, at least as of right now, right? Like, I don't like this, even though, like, because if we look at the volume here, like, the volume isn't that good. We had good volume over here. And then just now we're seeing the volume step in for the sellers here. So I'm just not happy with what we're seeing. On Friday, we saw a huge sell-off here. Again, or this was on Thursday, and then we had Friday here.
Hey, Joe, your mic's moving again. How come you don't wear it on your head anymore? You wore it on your head for 2 years, and now you don't.
Yeah, because I don't want to get an indent in my head. That's why. And so I've been looking online to get actually better ones, where actually we'll have a boom mic sitting right here, so we can speak into.
I think I'm just gonna do this for the rest of the show.
That's good. There you go. There you go. So, but the key point is this, is that we need to make sure that this is a real rally. And so when I go through and I look at the inner time frames here, you can see here that it's not putting in a lot of demand wicks as we're moving up. Here's one. It was demand wicks as we're selling off. But you can see here there's a lot more seller wicks. So ultimately we got today's open was a good rally. We saw the market come in, push the market down, then went up, which is a good sign that we might see a continuation here. But like I said, let's bring this up here. You can see that we're seeing, like, look at the, just the volume of the buyers are just lagging, right? So that's why I'm not too optimistic about this huge rally over the weekend. It's just one big drop here potentially. But again, one thing I always say about this, if the market is moving up, we don't short it. We go long with the market.
You follow the trend.
We follow the trend, and that's what's really important here. So as we're looking at this right now, you can see that we've got a decent wick here with okay volume. You can see how the seller volume here was decent, right? At the open, we saw the sell-off, and then this is the part I always bring up. You can see how we increase enough sellers as we're pushing down. You can see even though we're pushing up, a decrease in buyer volume, but there was a substantial amount of green candles here coming in. So we can see it as it's pushing up potentially, that it might continue, but I am more apt to say it's going to drop and then coming down to the original, like, 105 area that we saw in the beginning of today, which should be around here. And again, there's a liquidity pool here. We talked about this ad nauseum, where you can have a liquidity pool right here, which is the low from the London Open. This is this liquidity. And then you actually have the Asian liquidity area here, which is going to be right here from a day trading standpoint. So these might be little potential areas that you could capture the long if it continues up. Be ready. Don't just jump in. Again, like I always talk about here, this is the type of setup we're trying to look for, right? We saw as it's coming down, right? We want to see it to get above the 8-period moving average.
Yep.
Which is right here, right? And we see the cross over the 8 and 20. And then we want to see, as we come back and tap this, we want to see buyer wick step in. That typically will then cause the market to go boom up. So,
well, it was really nice, Pedro. I was long overnight.
Nice.
And I woke up to gains, baby. As Sam Price, the crypto lifer, says, gains, baby, gains. And
baby gains.
Pulled off, as everyone knows. For you new people, I'm a huge whale in the trading markets. Just massive, massive whale compared to kindergartners. But I pulled out a cool $75. Like 73 and change or something like that, rounded it up to 75. And I pulled it out at like 107.2. And I'm just like, I'm up, I reached my goal, done, and then it goes up another. I would have cleaned up with another $70, but that's not how you do it. You reach your goal, you take your profits, you pay the trader, and and then you're out, and then you get to take the whole day off. I wish. I wish.
One day. Listen,
one day, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And every day we go to the grind, do our work, and then you know what? It should pay. And if not, then you get a chance to learn, right? Either you get paid or you learn to get paid. You know, that's one thing about trading or any type of thing that you learn. The greatest, the most epic teacher that anybody could ever have is failure. That ability to not succeed, reason why, and then do it again and learn from it. And then in doing that, this is where anybody can get better. But as long as you're documented, the key word is documentation. You cannot get good unless you document, so you can understand your reasoning and thinking, realize where you were wrong, where you were right. So important, so important. So that's in a nutshell for BTC. But ultimately, if we look at the weekly here, we're going up, and everybody knows if we go up in the very beginning of the week, typically we see a sell-off at the end of the week or some form. So we'll see what happens here. But ultimately, I'm a little bearish on this movement up, simply because it's just, as I've said earlier, we're not seeing a lot of volume. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go, gotcha, Pedro.
As Dave Chappelle says, gotcha, bitch.
That's exactly where I was going.
I knew you were going, gotcha, bitch.
But I didn't want to. But you get what I'm saying, though. The key point is here is that we want to make sure that we're on the right side of that market and making sure that we're being taken care of by our trade plan or whatever trade plan that you have. Make sure you're paying attention to it and following it. Just realized I did not put in my charger here. There we go. So ultimately what we're looking for is really a market to come up and see if it's going to continue. It needs to blow through this area of supply here that I have here on the weekly.
You're hiding that price range here. What price range is that?
Give me 1 second here. That price. Oh, by the way, I don't know why, but there it is. That would explain it somewhat. My live. Oh shoot, sorry, Mikester. What's up, dude? Good to see you, brother. Over on Rumble. Good to have you. We got 7 people over on Rumble hitting us up. Dope. All right, so let's go ahead here. Let me move that over so we can sit there and see that. All right, so that supply area, let me move that back to red here. There we are. Okay. Actually, I just realized that I could have just done that. Just realized I could have just done that right there, and that would have been easy and save everybody the headache of me struggling just to do that. There you go. All right, so we're gonna hit red on this one. We're gonna hit another pretty red on this one. Nice little flying red right there. Look at that. That's a nice little pretty.
All right, what zone is that? So I can hit 112, 110 to 112 is your liquidity zone there.
Yep. So that's that one. That's pretty much the high here. We potentially could come and touch the high, but ultimately, if we do, we come and tap that, then I would expect it to kind of see a sell-off if we continue in the same manner that we're seeing, with literally just lack of buyers coming in. So that's why I'm more apt to sit there and say, look, but until we get to these highs here, I'm looking to go long, right? Or potentially pull back to areas of buyers. So those are little areas that I like to look at. Now, if you're looking to take this short here, remember, we want to see the cross of the 20, which is almost about to. We want to see a retracement back up into this area here, which we're going to play that a small little area here, but it's going to be this area right here. Make that into a intraday time frame. We're going to go right here. Boom. And this right here is going to be perfect. So where we at? So we're seeing a little take profit here at the top of the hour here. And I could expect us to see it potentially come down. This retracement on the 5 was our 15 looking. So 15, got a 30. What's going with our 30 and our hour here?
Yeah,
So,
Pedro,
yeah.
you do not need a boom mic.
Oh, really?
No, because you move and then you look like this with your. That's why I switched to the body mic here. Like if you have this thing, you'd have to keep your head still all the time, and you do this back and forth, back and forth.
Oh yeah, I know.
And you look this way and talk this way and look that way. So a boom mic, don't buy that. You maybe you just need a better, looser fitting Grand Turtle, whatever they are, the better ones that aren't so tight. But that the mic you have is great.
Yeah, I know that, but it's too tight on my head. I got a giant head.
The boy does have a big head. I've seen it in person, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a virtual relationship here. We have spent the night in the same apartment together. 2 years of working together. I do know this. Do know this. Anyway, let's do a little social media right here while I try to get our guest back online here. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching us on Rumble, thank you very much. And for those of you that are come in from the Elon Tried room, thank you very much for joining us on YouTube. Drop some comments. You know, we're an interactive show here. This is not pre-recorded. This is live. We answer questions. You got to shill your project. Shill it all you want. Drop comments. For those of you watching on X, thank you very much. And I see you over on Twitch. You're actually two viewers watching us on Twitch. Some days we're on LinkedIn, but on not usually on Mondays when we address Memecoins and that type of stuff. Tuesdays, for those of you that are new, are Technical Tuesdays when we go over the market in general and the economy in general and how all those indicators that everyone talks about on the want shows, how they affect your crypto bags. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have all sorts of topics that we cover. So everyone, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We have a guest today. Many of you know her as Pixie, and we also know her as Pixie. And she's in the green room here in the back. And I am going to bring her on right now. Hopefully her sound still works. There's Pixie, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Oh, hold on. She's on mute.
Yes. That's one thing about
Pixie. On your screen, there's a little microphone there in our studio feed that you need to click. There we go. We got you. Welcome to the show, Pixie.
I did it. Hello. How is everybody?
It is good. It is good to have you.
Look, I was just eating like a bowl of fruit and tomatoes while I was sitting in the back in the green room, and then you're like, "Hey, Pixie," I was like, "Oh shit."
Listen,
that's how it works in the big leagues here on these super popular TV programs, you know.
You know what's interesting? There's a subconscious thing here that I play on. Most people don't realize it, but when you see me eating, I'm not eating just because I'm eating. It kicks off dopamine just watching somebody eat. Did you know that? It does. And so it's like you're actually starting to watch. And this was what's interesting. A lot of these news networks and stuff like that, they're showing themselves drinking coffee.
Well, coffee's different.
Coffee, but they're eating. Dude, I'm telling you, go through watch. There's some
The final frontier.
Welcome, Space Cat, to the show. Really appreciate you joining us. Space Cat coming to us from the Toronto area. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Well, Pixie and Pedro. I think that's another show altogether. Pixie and Pedro. But anyway, we have some good. Well, let me rephrase that. Pixie, I think you have some good news. You got a lot going on anyway, and we'll talk about that throughout this part of the show with your ladies on Sol and all the stuff that you have going on there. But you've recently started a new crypto. One based on our show, and a phrase that I made up one day trying to come up with something for the show. And it started on Pump Fun. And Pixie, tell us what this crypto is and what happened to it today.
So, this was a happy little accident. I was watching y'all show the other day, and I was trying to figure out Pump Fun because it's so difficult for people who haven't ever launched on there. So I was trying to figure it out, and like I took a snap of like y'all's screen. Yes, that one. And then I like cropped it down so that it would fit inside the pump fund box. And then I was like, I don't know, Elon Tried sounds fine. And then I went on like ChatGPT and it was like made something for like Elon Tried, because I do have a launch planned for like a month or so from now. So I just wanted to get a feel for how to do it. And then there's a cancel button and a create button, and they're side by side, and I fat fingered the create button. So I spent like $278 from my wallet because I hit create and it was like poof, done, and there's no cancel option.
Right.
So I took it to my Coinsy community and I was like, hey guys, I did this on accident. I totally fat fingered it. We can run with it if you want to. We don't have to if you don't. It doesn't bother me either way. And 10 communities actually rallied, and we've been pushing it. And today we bonded
Whoop,
a little bit
whoop.
ago.
Pedro, give
Like
us a
right
whoop,
before
whoop.
noon, actually, we bonded.
Whoop whoop. Let's go.
And then I was having to like get makeup on so that I could come on the show, and like having to set up over here because I moved into a new house not long ago, and then I had surgery, so I haven't really gotten a chance to unpack. And so thank you, Striking, for making fun of my super awesome little setup, by the way.
Hey, you made it.
I was trying to figure out how to like stream DYOR network on the big TV behind me while we were on here. I just thought that would be cool. Turns out I'm not technologically advanced enough to do that. But it was a thought. Maybe next time I'll have it figured
Just
out.
get a
I'll
really
get my
long
15-year-old
HDMI
nephew in here,
cable.
and he'll
That's the
have it done
best
in, like,
way.
2 seconds.
Or you can just download the Rumble app and just go in, log into it.
Yeah, if your TV's newer than 2023, you should be able to get the Rumble app on it, and we're always on Rumble as well. But anyway, a bonding curve has happened, and then, as predicted, there was a large wallet, a 4% wallet person, and that everyone knows when you see a 4% wallet, a sell is incoming, and sure enough, that wallet sold off. But anyway, now you're on Pump Swap, and you're on Radium also. Is that correct?
I don't know the answer to that. So apparently Pump Fund switched the way that they do things, and you used to just go straight to Radium, but then they came out with Pump Swap. So I'm learning just as much as everybody else. I paid for Deck Screener myself when we were at like 16K market cap, like super early. I paid for Deck Screener, so we already had the decks. And the Pump Swap is supposed to be so you can use like the oh, hello Nelly. My dog just decided to join the conversation. Hey ma'am, come here. So the creator rewards are supposed to be so that you can pay for decks or what have you, but I already paid for it, so I just used the creator rewards to just buy back into the chart. And the dev wallet is actually going to go into liquidity as soon as I figure that out. So we are on, I don't know if we're on Radium or if we're on Pump Swap, to be honest with you.
You're definitely on Pump Swap. I found you there. I'm just
Somebody
checking.
tell me what I'm doing over here.
Just checking Radium here. How about the Elon Tried group here? I just popped over to your Telegram room to grab the contract address.
Can you also tell them to get their butts in here?
I did.
I
did. A couple of them did. Oh, that's right. It ends in pump. Let's see. Let's check Radium. See if it's over there.
So I even had to steal my nephew's gaming chair. That's what I'm sitting in, and this thing is so like, I am dwarfed in this thing. Like, I can put my feet up. Like, it's nice.
Crypto Mike in the house. Thanks for joining us. Pixie, I think you got your sound coming out of your computer speakers again. But anyway, Crypto Mike coming to us from Manitoba. Thanks for joining us.
I can't figure out how to get it to come through my ears. So my voice is coming through my boom mic, And the sound is coming from my computer, so I keep having to hit this button on the side so that you guys don't have like an echo.
I gotcha. Well, as long as you're on top of it, I guess that works just fine. Anyway, thanks everyone that's watching us on all the different channels. We are talking about Elon Tried right now, who with just bonded from pump.fun onto the great worldwide of swaps, and probably I'm guessing it's on good morning, good night now.
Well, also to add on, just Pixie. So if you go down to the little sound down at the very bottom to the right of your main screen, you'll see that little speaker. It's next to typically your internet connection. If you click on that, and then you can literally post where, like, you can sit there and see where you want the sound to come out of. So if you want that sound to go into your speaker mic, then you'll see it play. So let me go ahead and show this here for you so you can sit there and see it. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. You guys are going to see the background here. And you can see... Nope.
You're so smart, Pedro. It's working. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. And there should be no back feed.
You're so smart.
No, it's just a lot of mistakes.
There
a lot of mistakes.
It's not. And I don't have to keep hitting the button.
Yep. Awesome.
Wow, there's
I actually
there's
went
another
on,
Elon Tried
on Pump Fun Live yesterday.
Yeah?
Those little punks.
Punks.
They can't be like us.
Nuh-uh. No.
Pedro.
So there is. So
Yeah, we did really good over the weekend. They're copycatting the copycat. How dare they?
Yeah, they are. There's a couple of scam ones out there that they're very little volume or actual trading, and they're pumping up the market cap to get it on top of the list. But anyway, everyone heads over to Pixie. Tell everyone where to find Elon Tried. Oh, I got you while you're eating.
Well, you can find us on Deck. You did every time. You can find us in Telegram. I don't know how to post a link, but
I'll
we
take care
are.
of that.
It's t.me/Elon Tried 1 is the portal, and that's just to like keep it a little bit safer and keep out as many bots as we can. t.me/Elon Tried 1. I think that's correct. Let me look.
Yep, I copied
I might be
it and
sending y'all somewhere crazy.
I copied it and pasted into the chat. If you're new here, grab the Telegram room, head over to their portal, and join the Elon Tried room. A lot going on. Although I got to say, we have so many raid bots.
A alliance call. Yeah, we do. But that matters. Like, we were able to keep pushing even when we didn't have a lot of people on because we had so many raid bots, and it's the community that goes in and finishes the raids and spreads the word on Twitter and stuff, and we were able to get a lot. We're going to do a Lions call and a button rent on Major Trending, and in about 2 hours Major Trending goes live for their live stream AMA. We've done all kinds of trending. I've probably spent like 20 Sol so far on trending. But we've done really good. We've been having a good time. And I'm just excited to see it do something. Because it was my first one on Pump Fun, so I'm just excited to see it go somewhere.
Yeah, and not only that.
And the dev wallet is going into liquidity. I just have...
Sorry, we seem to have a pretty good delay between us. But it's exciting having something get bonded, reaching that goal of moving from Pump Fun into the worlds of regular swaps. I'm on Good Morning GMGN.AI's site here behind us, and they've introduced a new feature with showing people's icons where they bought and sold, and I cannot figure out how to turn the damn thing off. It's driving me nuts.
Dog, what is up, dude?
I was like, that looks crazy. I mean, it's kind of pretty, though. It's so bright.
Yeah, I literally have no idea how to turn these damn things off. Regular lines.
I gotta see what's up with this because that's really.
Ooh.
Pedro, your mic is just not close enough to your mouth.
All right, what about now?
It's better.
All right, there you go. That's better,
It's
right?
better.
What about now?
It's like I can't see it, but I can hear it. It sounds better.
It's the same.
Is that better? There you go. There we should that should work. That should work, right?
Anyway, we're looking at the chart here,
Sounds
and
fine to me.
the let's go back. Let's go find the DEX screener chart.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Where is DEX screener? Nope, not there. There's DEX screener. That chart's a lot better. Look at that. We got a little show pumping going on here.
There we go.
You gotta love the old
Yay.
show pumping. Whoop 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 whoop,
like-
as Pedro would say. Let's get. You know what we're gonna do for that? We're gonna get some good old fashioned sound effects. Sorry if this might come through your ears too loudly. We're gonna give the old applause. Hey, all right. Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
And of course, we'll give it a power up too. Power up. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen. And we got Jerry98 coming to us from the Elon Tried Telegram. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Shilling your product. Go get all the other people in that room and come on over and shill your product. The more you shill, the longer we talk about it. That's the whole goal of this. Grab the views. Anyway, this is a great chart. Pedro, you went over this chart just, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? You're on mute, Pedro.
Can you send me the link to Rumble real quick? Or even,
Yep, I can send
maybe
it
I can
to you.
just give them the X. That'd probably be easier for them.
Rumble is really what we're trying to utilize because we can there's more buyers over there. People more pay attention, but we've seen that Rumble is really the one that when people pay attention to, and they act there. There's a reason why advertisers.
Yeah, Rumble, they don't sit. Like here, if we mistakenly mention that disease we all
Gotcha.
thought we had a couple of years ago, and or some countries or other things, YouTube just says, nah, it's not something we want to talk about. But Rumble's like, bring it on, baby!
Yeah, and then what they try to do is gather those types of people who are interested in that product, and then say, hey, look, check these guys out. So it's really, really dope to sit there and see that. Speaking of that, if we could have our people over here do a quick favor, everybody also on the Elon Tried, you could take the link that we just posted on the platform here, and again,
That's their Telegram link for Elon Tried.
Okay. I got you. DYOR. I'm going to post it in the actual live here. And I will post the Rumble connection. By the way, thank you, Lisa Hughes. Appreciate you.
Lisa Hughes, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
She says, go Pixie.
We also got Matt. What's up? ¿Qué pasa, señor?
Elon Tried to the moon, says Matt. Elon Tried has the best holders you can wish for. He tried. Ladies and gentlemen, we did the show
Lisa
we did.
is from the UK. Oh, we are so laggy.
Yeah, you're for some reason
Is
you're.
it me?
I have a feeling it's the way your audio is routed. I think that's the issue.
Oh.
You just have something like you might have it going through a gaming software thing or something like that. Matt says, AKA the Wise Degen. He's the Wise Degen. Yes, he is. Lisa Hughes coming to us
I
from
knew
the
it.
UK. Which part of the
We
UK
have
you coming to us
Hydron.
from? You coming to us from the south? Coming from the north? Coming from the west? Or coming from one of those islands out across the world somewhere? Let us know where you're coming from. Been rushing home from work to catch the Elon Tried bond. Well, it bonded. Bond, baby, bond. Manchester. Well, then the eternal
Lisa
question is
from
City or
the
United?
Project Elon Musk.
I briefly dated a girl from Manchester. It was a while ago. We'll say that was a while ago. But I enjoyed visiting Manchester a lot. I got there a bunch of times. Lee, welcome Lee to the show. Thanks for joining us. United. Another Manchester. Welcome, Lee. Hope you guys are both United fans and not one city and one Manchester.
Well, I think you should always say, and I think it's so important, whenever you're married and you're a guy, you can say, I once dated this horrible girl.
Exactly. I enjoyed the city. That's what I enjoyed the city.
Yeah,
and I gotta tell you, I had been to Manchester like in the early 90s and stuff when I was young, and it was not a nice place. And then I went back later,
and then the follow-up.
in between marriages, and it was much nicer. I was like, wow, they really fixed this place up. They put a lot of money into fixing up the downtown. It's a really nice place. Anyway, we're watching on the chart behind me. We're watching Elon Tried pump. That's just the best way to say it. And there's nothing better than covering a project when it pumps. But Pixie, this is not the only project that you're working on. What is the project that brought you into crypto here?
So my first project that I did all on my own is Ladies on Sol. And we have been through every kind of hell with Ladies on Sol. And Matt, YSDGen from Hydron, huge props to them because we were able to, with the help of Hydron and the devs, get control of our contract because the launch pad that we launched on, there was some layers upon layers upon layers on the contract. So we had to go in, figure out how to revoke authority and fix all of that and migrate. And it was a headache. It was like a 2.5 week process. It was such a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. But everybody kind of rallied around us afterwards, and we're still pushing up. I added more to liquidity. Of course, I messed that up because I am like the best at screwing up liquidity. I just keep adding different liquidity pools. I don't add to the pool that's already there. Like, I suck at that, but I'm learning.
Best way to learn.
It's terrible.
Mess it up.
Yeah, by trial and error. I just hate that I hate that I'm messing up a project in the meantime, you know? But so that's why it looks like there's 5 liquidity pools, because I've been like putting liquidity in, taking it out, putting it somewhere else, trying to get it to go where it's supposed to be. And then finally I found the little plus button on the website and I was like, oh, that's how you do it. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at with Ladies. Or like right after we migrated Ladies is when I accidentally did Elon Tried. So it's like I've had negative 6 minutes of sleep.
Is there a website for Elon Tried?
Balls to the wall. There's not yet because I wasn't sure if it was going to be anything that we were going to actually push. So I didn't worry about making a website yet. We do have a Twitter and we have the Telegram, and we'll probably get a website. I've got some ideas for what it could be, like, you know, news. So, which, by the way, it happens. And like, so he's autistic, and everybody knows that he's autistic. And like, that is very like on brand for someone who struggles with autism. Like, that's how they react to things most of the time. So, like, him going back and deleting those tweets, just on brand for someone that's autistic. So I heard that Donald Trump and Elon are going to like have a sit-down meeting, and I'm actually kind of proud of Donald Trump a little bit, because at first he was like throwing shade back at Elon, but then I guess his PR team like stepped in and was like, "Shut the up, dude." So because if you like, you just if you keep poking the bear, especially when someone's autistic, like it'll just get worse and worse and worse. So somebody on Donald Trump's team was like, "Yo, dog, shut up, and it'll calm down." And that's exactly what happened. So as soon as Big Daddy Trump and Truth Social, then Elon was like, "Oh, maybe I should go back and delete those tweets." So it's still, I think their bromance is going to be just fine.
I think so.
They're just
too.
having a little tiff.
Well, one of the things that really struck home and is kind of the last thing that was one of the things tweeted about was Elon putting out that poll of how many people wanted a third party that's moderate, that represents the moderates in both political party 1 and political party 2, and 80% of the people responded, "Yeah, we want that." And imagine if you did do that and took away, that power from the two main parties. They're essentially the extremist wings run both parties, and then had a nice big fat moderate party that everyone just chills and drinks beer and invests in crypto. It's like, woo, dog, let's go.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I know. And they're like, we're paying down
Are you
the debt.
seriously eating pizza right now, Pedro?
Yeah, he does that.
I'm so mad. I'm over here with a bowl of fruit, and Pedro's eating pizza.
I have tea.
The thing is
The difference between a man and a woman's metabolism.
not even that, man. I don't even say that. Truth is I am like at a point.
What, Nelly?
Like
My
I
dog's trying to get in my
don't
lap.
necessarily care, right? Like I want to get in shape. It was funny. It's back in my youth. I used to. I mean, from age 19 to about 34, I had the body of a like Adonis. Like I just literally.
The man was in the military, and the body had the body associated with it.
Just worked out, did my thing, pulled chicks, was an idiot, and then I kind of grew up and was like, "That's dumb. I'm like a grown child. I got to stop this BS." So I basically kind of changed my life around, but at the same time, kind of stopped caring about your body per se. And now I'm at a point where it's like, I now work out for health. I eat for health, and I want to stay healthy. It's no longer really about like that. Let me keep my body in shape. It's more like, okay, how many squats can I do? How many pull-ups can I do? How many dead hangs can I do, right? And can I run a mile at hard pace, right, without sweating and dying?
Gets harder as you get older.
Man,
But what's getting hard is Pixie here just trying to manage a four-legged beast there.
I could see, man. By the way, adorable.
Yeah, she's like. So this is Nelly. She's one of my rescues. She found us at a cookout a year ago, and I'm pretty sure she's got like some serious separation anxiety. She doesn't like to be in your skin, pretty much. But thankfully the chair's big enough for the two of us. Big props to my nephew. But yeah, she has a heated blanket behind me. She has pajamas. She's ridiculous. At the cookout, my husband said, if she gets in the truck, then she can come home with us. And she had some help getting in the truck, but now she's home with us.
That's what I'm talking about.
What are you looking at?
All right.
Why are you looking at the iPad?
Hold on,
weirdo?
Pedro. I just got to manage this delay a little bit here. I figured out it's from. We can see you speaking in time. Hold on, she's. Pixie, if you need to go do something, feel free. I can have you back on in a minute.
Oh. My sister was like standing there trying to get my attention.
Like,
I was like, I see you.
Not now. I mean, we got millions of people here watching. I mean, that's at any moment this Elon Tried could be $1 billion coin just because of this broadcast, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking of all you people watching on Rumble, let's drop some comments here. There are a bunch of you over there. There's a number of you on YouTube that are very silent here. Tricorium Crypto. Now that's a name. Tricorium Crypto. Loving it. Loving that name. Let's effing go for Elon Tried. Yeah, maybe we should change that to Elon Tries because he's still trying. Many communities coming together. Yeah, Pedro, the show was last week in which we did a long segment on Elon trying and failing to save money for the U.S. government. And he went through, like we said, he sacrificed $100 billion, Dr. Evil money. I mean, he sacrificed, his net worth went down by $100 billion because of these same retards that are in California breaking up sidewalks and throwing them at police cars. He torched his Teslas and stuff like that. And the man literally sacrificed a third of his fortune, which he'll probably get back in a couple hours or something like that. But anyway,
not even.
He'll invent something new, and it'll be like another $1 billion. But anyway, and then he saw the big, beautiful bill come out, which has all kinds of pork in it, weird things. It even has a 5% tax. Now it's been lowered to 3.5% tax. If you're a foreign worker working in the U.S. legally or illegally, but legally is the one we want to talk about, and you send money home to Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, wherever, they're now going to tax you 3.5 to 5% on that. So it's an addition. So in essence, if you're making, say you're landscaper here and you send money back to your family in Mexico, and you pay your 15 to 18% income tax here because that's your bracket and little state tax and all that, you have to pay another 5% just to send the money home. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous the crap they loaded up into this bill, and Elon's just like, man, I tried everything, and then you know what? Congress has to get reelected. They got to raise $250,000 a day in the contested districts, and so they're going to bring home the pork, and there's nothing we can do. There's just absolutely nothing we can do. And I try to fight these people on that stupid platform Blue Sky where they all went, and there's all just crazy people over there. People still calling crypto and Bitcoin a scam. Like there's nothing behind it. There's no money actually in it. It's all fake. Bitcoin. It's just fake. I was like, no.
Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve. Hashtag Federal Reserve.
Right. All right. I was like, who prints money out of nothing? Bitcoin or the Federal Reserve? Which one?
Federal fund rate. Banking rate. Anybody? Nobody? I mean, does anybody understand how it all works?
None of them understand how it works, and that's why.
I've actually been to the Treasury in Washington, D.C., and you can literally watch them printing money.
Literally.
And I remember I was in the 6th grade. We went to Washington, D.C. on a field trip, and I was like, yeah, but where's the money coming from? And why are we just printing it? Just printing it and printing it. What do we do? And I was in 6th grade, so I knew in 6th grade that there was an issue.
Yep, it's an issue. It's not an issue if you print the amount of money needed to allow the economy to expand at the rate in which is natural.
That's appropriate.
Right. But if you just pass more laws that say we're going to spend all this more money, it just doesn't work. We all know this. That's why we're in crypto. That's why we advocate for having part of your finances in something that beats inflation, which is crypto has been doing over the past few years. So, and everybody listening to that knows that. I don't need to preach to the choir here. But anyway, let's try.
I want to correct that. You said which we've seen for the last few years. No, the reality is since its inception, we have seen crypto beat inflation hands down from the very beginning.
Yeah,
even on pullbacks.
Right.
If you saw a pullback 90%, 80%, it would still beat inflation.
I know. I was referring to it's compared to the U.S. has been around, the Fed's been around for 100 years or 200 years, and it's
100 years, and it was back in 1920. I need to go reread that book, Jekyll Island.
Anyway, before we get deep in that type of stuff, we want to talk to Pixie here and say, Pixie, what is the next step for Elon Tried? We're at $65,000, $80,000 market cap now, or whatever it is. You want to get to obviously $1 million market cap here. What is the next step that you're going to be doing to get you up there?
So it's all really kind of growth. We're doing the Lions Call. We're doing some trending. And I think I may have told you guys this before. Striking, I'm sure I've told you, but I actually bought Bitcoin back in 2013. And it was like $13.50 per Bitcoin. And I was taking Ambien at the time. So I have zero recollection of this. And if not for the security cameras in my house, I wouldn't have even known that I was on the computer. You can see me on the camera, like walk to the refrigerator. I grab a Taco Bell sauce packet. I don't have any pants on. I'm dragging a blanket. And then like I go to my computer and I just like sit down and I'm typing. And then I closed my computer, grabbed my Taco Bell sauce packet and my blanket, and I went to go to sleep in the garage on the deep freezer.
On the deep freezer.
It was a wild ride that night. Ambien's a hell of a drug. On the deep freezer, yeah. And a couple of years later, my ex-husband, he was in finance. He was talking to like his coworkers about Bitcoin and how it had reached like an all-time high of like $16,000, $17,000, $18,000, something like that. And I was like, huh, this sounds kind of familiar. And I knew that on my MacBook, I had this new folder that had shown up on my desktop, and it was like a zip file. And I didn't touch it because I thought it was part of the operating system for my computer. And so I just left it there and just didn't touch it. You know, I'm going to like blow my computer up if I touch it. So that's when I rediscovered that I had bought Bitcoin several years prior. And we got it all moved over. It's in a cold wallet now, but I'm actually giving away one of my Bitcoins when Elon Tried reaches 15 million market cap. I'm going to give away 1.5 BTC.
We know when.
Wait.
Now we know when it's a break-even point for Pixie.
No. Okay, can I suggest something, please? Please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
This is really because I know that your husband is an avid gun carrier. I know he's an avid, strong man who very much knows how to defend himself, as well as hunt, kill, dress things. Okay? In addition, I know this man just simply.
I love home.
Listen, I can tell just simply by when I heard him playing with the dog on Thursday, the type of man he is. He's a silent. He's not a joke. He's not a joke.
No, he's not. He's a big guy.
Yeah, do not test this man. And what you're doing here, giving that amount, I would suggest not 1.5, but almost, or I would do maybe half a Bitcoin. And the reason why I say this is if it hits certain junction points, you can add more to it, like 15 million. I would say 100 mil. And whoever has that, whoever's doing a lot of whatever increments, but I wouldn't necessarily I would start at 100 mil and then go to a bill, right? And that's going to allow the FOMO to get going, really, versus just doing.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, you put yourself at risk by doing this, and I'm saying this for protection for you. Okay, for you, you might need to hire.
Yeah.
Pedro, but not the police for that.
Well, I'm saying this is not.
Well, I actually don't have the BTC in my house, so it's not in my house.
Right, exactly. Just don't talk about this on
I
air.
actually listen to. Right, yeah, it's not in my house. It's in a security lockbox.
Yeah, so, but just be careful. Let's just be smart, because I don't trust people when people are.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but.
Yeah, I don't trust people either. That's why I have a trained protection dog. Her name is Kimber.
Well,
and she's in mountains. I can actually go get her if you'd like.
Not
That's
even
the
that.
dog that you heard my husband playing
I'm more
with.
afraid of your husband because of his skill sets. I mean, you've seen Taken, right? You know,
Yeah.
Liam,
Yeah,
that character.
he's got a certain set of skills for sure.
Yeah,
He's a former Marine, and
not just that, but he also has
he's got a lot of
skills.
friends.
All right, let's move this segment on. Let's move this segment on. All right, so you've got a giveaway. Tell us about 15 million, and then there's got to be a plan going further. I mean, I know you're new at this, and your Ladies on Sol, still a little program and all that you're working on. But this Elon Tried. God forbid somebody like Elon Musk retweets it or something, and then all hell's gonna break loose. What's you got any emergency crisis planning for that?
Would be
Other than
cool.
sell.
No, so my dev wallet is going into liquidity. So, like, I have a small bag that I can use for marketing. It's not anywhere near the size of the dev bag. The dev bag is going straight into liquidity. So, that's what I'm doing with that, because he is better, Pedro. I'm sure you're going to tell me I'm wrong, and if you tell me I'm wrong, I'll believe you. I just feel like most of the people who launch on Pump Fun, they just like drop their bag, right? And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to get that. I just don't want people to think that I'm that kind of person. I don't need the money that's in the dev bag. Like I could sell it in increments and use it for marketing, but I just felt like putting it in liquidity would be the best thing for the chart. And Pedro, tell me if I'm wrong. If I put it in liquidity?
No, if you have a big fat dev
Pedro,
wallet,
all
the holders and people looking into the project will just assume, well, the dev's just going to dump on us one day, and you know. But if they see the dev has done something altruistic with the tokens, then they see that as a good thing. Like when in Shiba, when the devs sent half the supply to Vitalik, they saw that as that was definitely an outlier doing that, and it worked. It worked. It got the attention of everybody, and next thing you know, Shib went to
Elon Musk's wallet.
What we need to do is just create one and label it Elon Musk's wallet on the Explorer, so everyone thinks it is.
Right.
Bing, 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 bing. Imagine the junk he would have in his wallet.
Yeah, right.
If he had a
God,
publicly
so crazy.
accessible wallet. Imagine the crap that would be sent to that wallet.
Oh
There'd be
my
tokens
gosh.
from every project in Elon's wallet. It would be like Dex paid. It would be like in Elon's wallet.
You know what? I think I'm gonna. You just gave me a great idea. It's a little spicy, but I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna say it out loud though.
Nope. Develop that idea and then bring it to the masses when it's time. That's what we're here for.
Yes. So one of the things I was looking at here, and let's check this out. Good morning, good night.
As the dying cats.
I actually have tickets because it has to do with some stuff, so I will be back.
All right, Pedro. We'll
Okie dokie.
we'll have you there. Pedro
I'm sure we
turned
can
his
chat about something while you're gone.
Pedro turned his nice car into a nice pile of junk by running it into a street pole, avoiding someone running a red light. Unfortunately, the guy that ran the red light didn't hit anybody, and Pedro did. How unfortunate that is. So he's dealing with the insurance having to do that.
That's how that goes.
Yeah. But Pedro, Pixie, while we're
that's
talking,
such a pain in the neck.
while we're talking, this delay is driving me a little crazy, but we'll go with it. We were pumping up to 80,000, and then somebody sold in the middle of the show. Whoever it was, you don't do that during the show. During the show, you buy. You buy, and then you slowly sell off later. Because then if we get the green candles, then everyone FOMOs because they're like, I got to get in on this. I got to get in on what Striking and Pixie are talking about. Which reminds me, I need to run the the financial disclaimer on the bottom.
I love that Pedro is like sideways, and all I can see is his nose on my screen.
I can't. I'm not looking at the studio screen.
All right, there I am. Can you guys see me back? Can you guys hear me?
There we go. You're back.
Yep, I could see you sideways, and all I could see was your nose for like a minute.
That's why we have the behind-the-scenes camera feed and then the on-screen feed a little different.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give Pixie a few more minutes. So Grow Green Easy is here. Hi, Pixie, on Elon Tried. Thanks, Grow Green Easy. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Get all your friends to come join us. We're pumping this this Elon Tried meme coin. It's bonded, ladies and gentlemen, bonded just this morning or overnight sometime. Must have got some Europeans or Asians to bond it.
Before 12 noon.
Oh, it was today before 12 noon. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Which?
All right, so let's check this out here real quick.
What do you got up on your screen there, Pedro? There we go.
All right, here we are. Nice little sell-off. Nice. That's actually a good area. Pull back to that demand wick here, which is it's actually a really good pullback area.
What time frame chart do you have up there, Pedro?
I'm cycling through, so it's not just. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Nice little pullback. Good pullback from on Friday. Good little pullback. Boom. And then we saw it go back up. Bonded, nice. And then pulled back to an area. Do we know the wallet that sold off by chance?
Whatever it is, it's selling off now again, unfortunately.
No, it's okay.
We don't.
No, the reason why I don't mind that is literally because it looks like it's being smart on the sell-off. So it's not being an idiot. It's selling off when there was a lot of volume coming in. And it looks like, I bet you he's the one who bought in at this low here, or she, or it, or they, whatever. And I mean, it could be an organization. We don't know who that is. But they are buying in and selling off at good areas. And so I like it. Remember, I like seeing pullbacks because pullbacks are indications of people who are interested. And so that's what I'm looking at.
That is true. We do pitch that a lot here, that selling is not bad for a token. Obviously, during the bonding phase, you just don't want that because you want to bond as fast as possible and get the FOMO magic that comes with that. But once you get out into the open, people take profits or they just trade it, which is good. And trading generates volume. Volume generates trending, and trending generates more volume. So it's a good thing. Is there what's going on in the form of trending? Are you still running some trending stuff, or is that finished once the bonding has started? Picks.
No, we're actually about to start up another leg of trending. We're going to do major trending, Lions calls, and those are like one and the same kind of. And then major trending, the show starts at 3 o'clock. I'm probably going to get on there. And then we have spaces at 5 o'clock, 5:15, where we just all come together. I actually haven't looked at my phone, but like twice in the last hour. So trying to stay focused. Because if I don't, then my ADHD will have me like back there cleaning the TV screen or something.
Ain't that the truth, man? I fight with that every day trading. I just sit there and be like, no. Like this morning, I was like all over the place, and I'm sitting there going like, no, this is where we're at. Focus. Look at the green and red candles. Pay attention. Like you literally have to tell yourself this stuff.
Pixie, I'm going to say two things. One, hold on. Sorry, the delay is just driving me nuts here. But for everybody in the Elon Tried group here, just so you know, you guys can use the video of this thing for anything you want. I'm running the NFA banner right now, so feel free to use this in any of your promotions or anything like that. Pedro and I just smile and wish the best for you and stuff like that. But I do want to say nothing herein has been reviewed or approved by any authorities. Opinions do not represent those of DYOR Media networks. Got to say these things out there. This is an educational video and not to be construed as financial advice. Always do your own research and consult your own experienced professionals to give you advice or to answer questions for you. Always love to say that.
So this is my stack of planners. I have 5.
Yikes.
Actually, it's 4, and then I just have a spiral notebook down here that I can take notes in. And I literally use them every single day, because if I don't, then I'm like a rabid dog. I just don't have any purpose. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know my butt from a hole in the ground, as they say. Like, it's just wild if I don't have. It gets crazy.
I same thing. I have I call this the Book of Rugs because it's my show book. But I have spiral bound books going all the way back to 1992, and I've tried everything. I've tried Basecamp. I've tried Monday. I've tried all the different various things, including Slack and stuff, to help me organize that stuff. But when you write it down, you remember where you wrote it down on the page. You remember like how far it was into the book. Like I can think of like when I talked to a customer back in 1998, I can say, yeah, I took his phone number, I wrote it up in the top corner of a page, and you can flip through your whole journal like this, whoop, and find it, and remember where it was, and there are all your notes. I still do. I do all the show notes on paper. I've tried, but I know how it works.
I'm just a note taker. Like when we do spaces on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, like I take notes about people's projects. And James, Tricorium Crypto, he does a space on Wednesday. He started, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I've joined him both weeks. Was it 2 weeks? I think it was 2 weeks. Like I take notes on his spaces as well because I just want to remember what people will say. And even though they're recorded, I'm not going to go back and listen because that would take too much time. I can just write a quick note, and I have the app, and I have notes on my iPad. And then I have this little handy dandy guy, my Apple Pencil, and I think maybe oh, there we go. Okay, it's catching up. So I write notes everywhere. I bought a $50 box of Post-it notes a few years ago. They had like a treasure chest deal, and it was $50 notes everywhere, and I love them. Like I stick them everywhere, and my husband hates it, but I love it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next segment of the show where we hit a few news articles and talk about some crypto, different projects. Pedro's going to run over some charts on that. Pixie, you're welcome to stay with us and comment on it where you can, or learn and ask some questions. Your community is obviously welcome to watch for the rest of their lives. We'd really appreciate that. Let's see. Welcome. Unfortunately, my ability to pronounce Cyrillic language letters is terrible, so we'll just say, let's try to send Elon Tried to hundreds of millions. Yes, very much. And welcome, Baby Draco.
Yeah, let's do it.
Otherwise known as Jesus from Sucker Free City in San Francisco. Good morning, Chumbalones and Chumbalinas. It's morning for him still. Happy Lazy Monday. It's not a lazy Monday. Bitcoin moving and grooving today, making some money. And Tricorium, I think otherwise known as James, says, thank you, Pixie. Huge show this Wednesday, and Pixie's Spaces Tuesday and Thursday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern, not Eastern Standard Time. It's Eastern Daylight Time. It's EDT. Yeah, I have to tell people this all the time. EST is still in use by a few counties in Indiana. No, that's my thing. I lived in one of those counties, and it drove me nuts because the time was always wrong. Space Invading's in the house. Let's give Space Invading...
Isn't there some places in Arizona that don't use
The final frontier.
EST or whatever it would be?
Yeah, there's a
Like,
couple
you
of
don't change
places.
time?
That's like you can go through your Windows time zone
Yeah.
thing, and it has like, 30 listings for the entire world, and then like 20 for Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and a couple other places. It's crazy.
I kind of want to live in one of those places. I would have an excuse to be late. Sounds amazing. Pedro, we should move there.
Let's do it, dog. Shoot.
Let's do it. Doug.
EDP together.
Do it.
Woo-woo. All right. So let's check this out here real quick.
Oh, it'd be a great time. Striking would hate it.
He's like, dude, it's too much for me, dog. Like, he's like, too much. Here's the thing. One thing about me is because I know how to utilize my superpower called ADD by knowing how to hyper focus. So this man has seen me hyper focus on when we were together, when at the time I was networking, and I'm super, so when I know how to trigger it on and trigger it off. Now, if I do it too long, it starts to mess with me and, my creativity, I start to go, Mrr. But I've learned how to utilize that super focus. And so I can super focus for about 4 to 6 hours. Sometimes I can do 12 hours, but typically, and then I sit down, I eat, I let my brain just do whatever it wants to do, and then I get back and I focus. But what's interesting is that, on a side note, if we could do me a quick favor, guys, and please hit that like and share button, while at the same time, when you share it to whatever platform you want, please go on that platform, click on it, and what do you call that? What's that?
Activate the link in incognito mode.
An incognito mode.
So we get an extra view on it too. Get a little credit for that. It helps
I
with Rumble
love
a
the
lot.
way that you write, Pedro. Let's know my peoples. Please
Know my
hit the
people!
like and share button, please. I love it. Like,
Pedro doesn't believe in
your
autocorrect.
ADD,
Right.
Like, at its finest. You're like, right, like it's awesome.
Get it out there. Because here's the thing: people want genuine trueness. People will forgive unprofessionalism by genuality. How do you say that?
We're adding
Either
that
way.
to the list.
Yeah. But the Pedro words. But the reality is this: is that helps out with people really connecting with you. So I look for more connection than going through and trying to be professional. Now, there is a professionalism to your stuff that you need to have. I agree with that 100%. But in the same sense, when you're genuine and real, people care more about that than I feel like than being professional, right? And now there is a balance that I believe we should have. So please do us a huge favor, hit that like, subscribe, and share button. That helps us out quite a bit. Now, check this out. We're going to go over some charts here. Love to know your thoughts, Pixie. And then we can move forward. Does that sound fun? Did I lose you?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you were talking about professionalism as I'm sitting here eating on camera, eating your pizza. And I'm sure Striking is like, oh my God, what am I going to do with these two?
Well, here's the thing. I do it because there is a dopamine release in a person's reptilian brain that actually goes, ooh, food. And then so whatever they see somebody eating, like when you see somebody smile, right? Or you see somebody tear up or yawn, that hits down into our brains and will send off dopamine. Or when you see somebody yawn, right, it actually kicks off melatonin in your body. So sometimes I'll go in the mirror. If I want to go to sleep, I'll just start yawning.
You'll watch yourself eat?
I'll watch myself yawn. I'm trying to kick off melatonin into my body.
I'll just tell you what my mom said when she was watching our show and you're eating. She goes, "Ah, that's gross. That's like someone showing their feet on camera."
Good. Because babies.
That wasn't dopamine.
Horrible.
That was like the
It's
kick.
adorable when babies chew their feet. Anyways, so let's go ahead and move forward here. Tell your mom
Pretty
I love
sure.
her. Tell your mom I love her and I care about her and I wish nothing but the best for her. The best. All right, so right now we put a little bit of I was looking for the short in here. You can see here that we came back up, blew through that area of supply here. And so we're definitely starting to push up even more, which is kind of cool. Let's go ahead and see what we're going to see. Again, we're seeing, again, this is where it's hard. This part's always a little bit hard. You can see here that we definitely have buyers coming in, which is right here and right here. The only issue is coming back down. Like I'm interested in this buy area of that 50 period moving average here. This area right here, I want to see it come back to this level right here, bounce in, put a demand wick here, and then see it go up. And so that's really what I'm looking for, is this type of thing right here at this level. So we'll see what's going on there. Let's go ahead real quick and let's look at the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ here, because you're going to see kind of a similar situation. You can see here at the open with the S&P 500, we saw it go up. Now, I have a 15-minute delay on this. No, I don't, because I have crypto, so I can sit there and go. Sorry. If you have crypto, and you can go through, you can actually hit the SPYs, SPY. Pardon me, I'm going to call. And in the same sense, you can see here, it's pretty dope. I actually all I did was SPYs, and And it's a crypto product here, which is really cool. And we can sit there and see it going up. Where did Pixie go?
Had to do something.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So you can see here real quick, we're starting to go up here and it's starting to push up. So I can see us pushing higher here. Let's check out the Qs here real quick. Qs. And the Qs are going sideways. So this is where I'm seeing the divergence of the two here. And let me pull mine up on the CME.
You still have the S&P or the SPYs or whichever?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up.
Or did you switch to NASDAQ?
Nazi.
I can't see the prices.
No, it's okay. And we'll go over in just a second. I just want to clarify something so I'm looking at the right thing. Okay, so we went up right there. We're going to do that here real quick. 11.11, boom. All right, and then let's check out S&P, SPY. Pushing that up. Yeah, okay. So it looks like the NASDAQ is kind of building this position here, whereas the SPYs or the S&P 500 is starting to push for higher highs here. As you can see, we just created a high from today, from the open. And you can see we came in, we put this up. So I'm a little hesitant to want to see what happens here. We just got above the 6,000 area here on the S&P. And this is kind of like the local all-time high here. And let me make sure for a crude oil standpoint, 3 month here. April, January. Yeah, so this is definitely the high of this quarter. And this is, so remember I always talk about everything's always cycling through, right? So this is the high for this 3 month contract on the CME. So we saw it come down. This is a 3 month, this is the 3 month chart. Remember the CME is built in 3 months, okay? So this was January, and then from January, February, March, and then from April, May, June, that's this contract here. And you can see how we came down first, got buyers below here, right? We actually pointed this out to us, and then we pushed up here. Now this is for this contract specifically, they're pushing up. At the end of this week into next week is a thing called rollover. And what that means is they're rolling over from the previous contract to the next contract. And that contract is going to happen. Then I can point this out here to you guys here real quick so you can understand in particular what we're looking at. Give me 1 second. Where's the CME? Hey, while you're chilling there, my friend, do you mind sharing some of the stuff? Remember like what we discovered on Rumble?
Yes.
Sharing.
Yes.
Okay. Definitely. Okay, cool. So we're going to check out the CME here real quick and we'll play here. Elon Tried. We're going to go CME. No, we'll get this one right here. Play here. CME. Come on. CME group. So you can go there, you can go to the main page, okay? So we go to the main page. You don't have to have a membership with them or anything like that. And here, if you scroll down about halfway through it, you're going to get the CME contracts, okay? You can sit there and see. Now, do you see, remember I keep talking about certain numbers like N. Now, Tom remembers this from his days on the floor here. And each month has a specific designator. That designator determines when it switches. Okay, exactly. He's doing the signs right now. 3-month contract forward, you go over to that contract bit. But the reason why I bring that up,
You just caused a plane to crash into the terminal by doing that.
sorry, my bad. All right. You can see here real quick where we at energies, equities. All right, so we're going to go to equities, which is going to be the CME. And we're going to look at the contracts coming in. So most people don't really care much about this, but here's the thing. This is what we see causing fluctuations in the market. This is why we have the buying and the selling coming in. And so this is where you get your data off of the S&P 500 futures. So you can see here that this June, or this contract expires in June. This is coming to an end here. We're on the second week, and this will expire between this week and next week. Typically the third week of the month in which it expires is the end of that contract. Dog, I don't know why, but that is so distracting to me. You doing that? I find it hilarious. I'm like fighting myself to be like, focus.
What's distracting?
No, it's okay. I actually like it because it keeps me from being too serious.
No, I don't know. I didn't do anything.
Oh, you keep doing the hand movements and stuff like that, which is like funny. But
Oh, you caught it on the delay. I got you.
Oh, was that? Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So you can see here right now the current contract on a daily basis is about 1.2 million or 1.3 million contracts being traded right now. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see it switch, and this number right here is going to flip. So it will be like this over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and all the contracts will start to switch. So you'll see a sell-off of this contract, and then you will see a buying of this contract. Okay, and they try to keep it very smooth. All right, gotcha. Okay. So, but this is important because if this starts to flip, right, we want to look at Bitcoin and see what's actually happening here. So this is important because Bitcoin is pretty much following again the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is playing off this way. So this is why I'm more hesitant to believe that this is going to continue up. Remember, the CME also has a Bitcoin.
That's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And so that actually will show you what's happening. So we can sit there now and go, all right, well, let's check out BTC here, right? And you can just play it. And again, that's playing off of each other. So we'll just go here real quick and come on. And I think it's interest rates, micro futures. Where is it FX? So they have BTC. Oh, that's interesting. They don't have it on their main. Give me 1 second. BTC. Bitcoin futures. Here we go. Just had you. Where'd you go? There we are. And so you can see, because these have different marks, they'll push it up first at the end so they can, remember, they dropped it, created that wick, so they put the majority of the volume down at the bottom of that wick, and they're pushing this up as much as possible into this week and next week so that they can make as much money as they can, and so that it will benefit you guys. And so it's this little thing for you degens, super important to pay attention to, because what controls the majority of like the degen plays, if we have a big push up with Bitcoin, that's really going to exacerbate the move within, or exaggerate that move with that meme coin or whatever coin you're trading that doesn't have as much volume. And this thing is just being a total, be cool, honey bunny, be cool. Come on, anybody, if you don't never seen that movie, you need to go out and see it. Come on, be cool. There you are. There we are, Bitcoin. Overview, no, Bitcoin contract specific. There we go. And It's just not wanting to work for me.
That's all right. Let's why don't we
No, this
move
is
past
important.
this?
No, this is important. These people need to get this, because if they don't get this, then you keep getting screwed over, and then before you know it, you get pissed off, think it's crypto when it's actually not. So if you understand this small little thing, then it'll help you make money, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what you need to get. And I know you guys are getting frustrated, like, this is boring. Well, I have ADD, and this will help me make money, and so I think you should pay attention to this. You know what? Fuck it. You know, if you're whatever. Okay. All right. And you guys vote with your viewership, and they just drop off. These people, I don't even understand them. They just want to drop in there, and I'm literally giving them alpha. All they want is just buy, sell. Just shit that annoys them. Anyways, all right. So look, the market's moving up. Lucky you guys, it's moving up, and it should hit this area right here. You can see here real quick on BTC, pushing up right here. It's coming up most likely to the highs here of that 111 and the 111, 111 or 110, 630, and the 111, 250 area here. We'll probably hit that and come back down, or create a new all-time high. So be ready for either or, but a way to make some money off of that. Also, let's check out Ethereum. Ethereum is looking nice here. This area here pushing up. If you guys have any ETH projects, right? We talked about, I was really bullish on ETH on I think it was Friday. So last Friday we were talking about it, so you can see it's already going up here. But the key point here is this: is I think you're going to see some big moves on ETH, because ETH is really starting to show a lot of volume come into it, and so
Yeah, it's been quite surprising, Pedro, the resurgence of ETH. We saw the news stories about BlackRock investing in ETH and buying. In fact, in one day you saw a story that sold Bitcoin and bought ETH, and people were like, their minds started leaking out their ears about that. And you're showing us the results of that. The chart go up.
Yep. So look, your meme coins on ETH, really important. Also, ETH has a CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, future. So the thing I was just talking to you about, you can actually go on it, see the transitioning of the volume, and see it go from there, and take advantage of that. Right, and so you should see kind of a sell-off and then a push back up again, continuing. That was a nice little pre-see. That was really pretty. Whoop.
Whoop.
Yeah, I think that was a little.
Hey, Sue says, I need ETH to pump. I hold a lot of ETH tokens. I'm sure your wallet, from listening to see what you pitch on this show, I am sure your wallet is filled with dust from all sorts of programs, all sorts of projects that just need, if ETH were just a double, you'd get a little 2 or 3x bounce in those projects, and you'd unload them all at once. Thank you, ETH.
Yeah. Let's go, ETH.
I see Nellie's back in the show.
What are your thoughts?
Nellie is back in the show. She is super interested in learning about Bitcoin.
Awesome.
She's here for it.
I love it. So you can see
you
here,
sit down?
it's pushing up. Just be ready for that 266 area, 261 area, or 2,666 or 2,661. Sorry, I just got this frog in my throat.
It's okay. I have a dog in my lap, and she's like making circles. So you can have your frog, and I can have my dog, and we'll just get through it.
My coffee cup says top dog here, and that's a dog wearing a top hat.
There you go. So just be ready also for potential. You can see every time we've come and tapped this, we've seen a sell-off. But one thing that's cool about it is this. Hit it, here's your low. You hit it again, here's the low from that. So we're seeing higher lows, and we're seeing higher highs here. So it's a good sign of it continuing up above this, but just want to make sure we're pointing out. So either the 2661 area or potentially that 2811 area of as resistance. coming in, but I do expect it to go higher. You can see here BNB. BNB, I think, is looking hot. Many of those meme coins that have been really pumping pretty hard on BNB. You can see right here that I'm expecting it to go higher.
Yeah, their volume has come back, that's for sure.
Definitely. Now, again, I'm expecting a CME futures because Binance is really starting to interact with a lot of the American CFC government agencies. They're really trying to make sure that they're on point for their futures trading. So I definitely can see if ETH has become a staple, I cannot not see BNB becoming a staple as well, and seeing a type of CME futures. I mean, they have literally also Solana. Solana's becoming a futures, right? And I've talked about that. I've showed this here. Our trade also here for the, give me 1 second, guy. This is the trade. This is the trade that we talked about coming in here. I'm going long around this place here, and we're trying to get a 6-to-1 ratio push on Solana. So you can see we're starting to see a good little push on Solana, and I'd expect to see Solana tap this higher point here. Which I'm gonna move this right here, and we'll see. We should see some type of flow from here. Give me 1 second. We'll make that R.
Baby Draco says, always keep a moon bag.
Oh.
Yes, I failed to do that today, closing out a trade, and would have made a few extra bucks if I'd kept the moon bag, but I was happy with the trade anyway. But in crypt and memes and tokens, definitely keep a moon bag. The next thing you know, you miss 1,000x.
All right, guys. So you can see right here, we got a nice little pay here. Expect some resistance to come in at the 159 area. But if we see a rally in Bitcoin, expect us to see a strong rally with Solana and see it push up. Again, I would expect us to come and see it try to tap that all-time high, which is sitting around that 244 to the 559. Not all-time high, but pretty much the all-time high here was actually... I actually need to move that. Let's move that here. Boom. Delete this here.
For those of you watching, what Pedro does is he goes through and finds places where he, using his years of experience, liquidity piles and pools of your money, otherwise known as liquidity, and he looks how to take them, or teach you how to take them from other people, because people think just that patterns form and the chart goes where the patterns shape. The chart goes where the money is. Like any other industry on the planet, the price and everyone flocks towards the money is. And the money is where people have put in their orders. Pedro seeks those out. And he puts lines in his charts to remind him and tell him where to go. And invariably, you'll see on the show, someone will bring up a token or a coin or whatever that we haven't looked at in a few months. And the chart will come back up, and Pedro's old marks will be on it. And you will have seen that the chart came back down right into Pedro's zone because it follows the money. And that's what Pedro earlier was trying to tell you, how the Chicago Mercantile Exchange contracts, are one of the influences that does that. Because there's a lot of money on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and they're starting to, Pedro, I forget, do they have an agreement with Solana or with somebody to trade Solana yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's full on set up there. It's very thinly traded. I mean, you don't have millions of contracts being traded, but it's growing. And I mean, we could go into it, but again, it would be boring and bore people. But
we have to plan it, and we can do it right and keep it entertaining.
Yeah. Right. But what's interesting is we are seeing a lot of institutions getting involved, very much establishing a market for Solana contract, as well as there's an XRP contract that's coming out.
Right.
Anything that is going to be in the BT or in the crypto reserve is going to be on the CME. It is definitely going to happen. So it's not going away. And so these are the ones that I keep talking about, like Cardano. Cardano is another one that we were talking about, the long-term play here, right? Where I brought up either you could trade this on a perpetual future. We talked about that, where you just kind of put in a small amount, right, and watch it just go up, right, and then come down, place a little bit more in that perpetual future, and watch it follow through. Because the reality is this: is that I love the perps. I think the perps are so dope because it's just going to always be there, right? Whereas having to pull out your contract on a contract on the CME, again, you're accruing a fee, and in additionally to that, you're also accruing a taxation. Whereas with the perps, you could just kind of dollar cost average and watch it go up. Now, I did talk about how we are seeing the volume drop off on the perps, but it hasn't erased, and it's definitely, I don't think it's going to go, because anybody who has real money would sit there and go, you mean this is like a future and a currency trade? Yeah, you can play leveraged and play. So it's a nice dual area that you could play, and you can see it like we've talked about. Here is the here is the market of the perpetuals, right? You can see how it follows it, but then sometimes it doesn't. You can see here, this is where your liquidity pool was for the perp, right? You can see how it came down and then kind of is coming up, whereas here at this level, the liquidity was at this area, which would have been this right here, right? You can see the low here, and then, or here's the high, and then the second high. Here's that high and the second high here. So that was the liquidity pool right here. You can sit there and see it. And so as it came down, or I guess right here, but this is really where it would have been on. So you can see how it hit this area, and now we're seeing it push back up. It's the same idea that you can see within the markets how this plays, because the perps again act as a way where you can bring in leverage in the market, but then at the same time be able to play it securely, right? Like, all right, I'm going to put in $10 on this, but I want to exit by 10. So now I can leverage it by 100 by only putting in $10. And then in addition to that, if it comes down, let's say you only want to risk another $10. So you're risking $100 to see this thing continue up. All of a sudden, you take a 10x and it goes up, right? All of a sudden, now you've made $1,000, but only risking about $100 based off of whatever you played from the perpetual futures. And it's nice. It's a nice little in between, and because the perpetual futures is it's a lot more liquid by price point versus, like people say, currencies around the world are the most liquid market. They are right, but not per price, right? It's like there's a ton of liquidity right here and they stop everybody else out, then they push it back up, right? Well, in the perpetual futures, not so much, because the perpetual futures literally has per price point more liquidity, because you have everybody in the world in crypto buying each price point. And so it's a nice little balance there that kind of gives everybody kind of leg up before the institutions really start to take advantage of you guys. But it's really what we're seeing here, and I really like it. It's one of those plays that we can play. So you can see that right here. And this is aggregate trade. Right here, you can see, you can copy that and go in and log in and play off of this chart here. Alrighty then.
Sorry about that. I had Striking Jr. call, and he said, Striking Jr., I am in the middle of the show. And he's like, you're always on your show. I'm like, no, you always call at this time. Like, I don't have a 24-hour show here. Pedro and I are on for about 2 hours. Speaking of Pedro, I have till about 2:40, and then real world work calls me.
Gotcha. Okay, guys, so here's the thing right here. We can see for, what was it? No, not Solana.
Well, you know what? When we were talking about, let me finish up. When you were talking about Solana a minute ago, where I was leading the conversation in a circle about the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is that when you said it's thinly traded, but growing, what people need to understand is that in the U.S., the major institutions can't trade perpetuals on MEXI and our sponsor BidFi and Weeks and all the exchanges located overseas. They have to trade in exchange CFTC regulated markets in the United States. Not because there's some law saying you have to do that. It's because that's the only way they can get insurance and have proper business practices and oversight to comply with the law. And so the big powerhouse in the market has been the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, because they started futures tradings on crypto in 2017 with Bitcoin. And so they've had the processes. They have the institutions have accounts with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So it's easy for them to slip into that model. And so most of you watching the show are, come from the crypto degen world and don't understand how that part works. And it's the old school way of them when they traded pork bellies and orange juice and all that type of stuff on a contract basis. And they don't really have perpetuals for oil and things like that. They have, because you can take delivery of oil. If you buy it on the futures exchange and don't sell it at the end of the month, the truck's going to show up with a ton of oil. and so that's why they do that. They have to comply with U.S. law regarding the CFTC. And while it's boring and old school, it's where the money is. And so you got to pay attention to what Pedro says about things with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange or other licensed exchanges in the U.S. Because if the big money can go there, then the price is going to go where they want it to go. And that's why you see Pedro say the liquidity's down here. They want to drop it down before they raise it. Because let's face it, if you have Bitcoin at $100,000 and want to double your money, you've got to put in enough money into Bitcoin to raise it to $200,000. If you want to get you and your buddy Banks together and dump Bitcoin down to $60,000 or $50,000, and you want to double your money, you only have to put in enough money to get it back up to $100,000. So they play that a lot, and that's why Pedro says, pay attention to these. And we'll talk about more of that in the future.
Pixie's just came on.
She has returned to the show.
She has a return to the show.
Oops, that's the wrong button. This button, preset number 4. Voila! She's back, but I have you on mute. Sorry about that. I have just unmuted you.
It's okay. So the
No, that's okay.
Pixie, we've got until about another 15 minutes in the show, and then we'll be wrapping it up. If you or any of your viewers have any questions for Pedro, please let us know. This is what we're here for.
Yes. Now, I'm
just like a sponge.
Go ahead.
I said I'm just like a sponge. Whenever you talk, I'm just like learning. Watching the candles.
I almost want you to go to my coach loves teaching girls because he says they don't talk as much and they listen better. And whereas guys want to sit there and argue with him.
Squirrel!
Yeah. But the thing is he loves, so I told him a little bit. I said, listen, I said, this girl might reach out to you. I told him a little bit about you, but we'll see. Hopefully, when you're ready and on time, I want you to go learn from him because I think you would kill it because you understand like intrinsic value, right? Really well. Shows you like the idea.
Which is weird because like I am just a trauma nurse, right? Like I absolutely fell into crypto by accident, and I don't know. I just love it. So I just try to learn as much as I can.
I think you should learn how to trade, like legit.
Well, nursing doesn't pay so badly either, Pedro. There's a shortage of that. And Striking Jr.'s girlfriend is just graduating in nursing, and it's like pick your hospital. Like they're just.
A friend of mine was telling me like
it is COVID, for sure.
He said during COVID he was making $1,500 a day, 2,000. I said, bro, that's training money.
Yep.
And he's like 8 hours. We go in, and he'd make $1,500 to $2,000. He's like, the only problem was the taxation on it was so dumb. It was almost 50%, which is what he was. But I said, bro, you're making $1,000, $1,500. He goes, yeah. I said, dude, you go work basically because that pay I told him is not going to be forever. There's no way. And I said,
no. And so we did. Mine was very similar, but we had travel nurses that came in because obviously we needed more help, right? We had 100 people in the waiting room. We had ambulances lined up and down the ramp. So they had travel nurses come in, and the travel nurses were making 3 times what I was making. And I was having to teach them how to do their job. and not going to do, because I've been doing this for 15 years at that time, and I'm not going to teach somebody how to put their fingerprint on the Pixis so that they can get out of medication while they're making 3 times more than I am. So you either put me at the same pay or you bring them down to mine, because I'm not teaching them how to use their fingerprint. If they can't figure that out on their own, that is a them problem, not a me problem.
I like the
I was
attitude
making
there.
really
That
good
makes
money
total
during that
sense.
time.
Definitely.
It was, but I could go on and on about that, but like they would slap our hands because we can't really talk about that on air. But yeah, it was a rough time. That's all
We're
I'll
gonna
say.
talk about that. All right, that's all I have to say about that. Let's get on over here to Cardano now. So Cardano here is showing some pretty good strength there. We're watching a lot of. We talked about this area being hit. This is back here. This was the huge explosion of the it was right here actually. Boom. So this explosion here we saw come in, sell off down to our area here. This was during the March announcement of the crypto reserve. We saw it go up. I said, don't buy it up here. Wait for it to sell off. We came back here. This is where all the money was sitting. We all bought. Boom, it's pushing up. So I said, if you're looking to get back in, we want to kind of buy it around this level here. It came down a little bit further down to the 400 period moving average, which is really this weekly base right here. This is more of a weekly zone down at this lower level here. I don't like to trade those type of levels. I'd rather either see a big wick like something like this, but even this was showing weakness. So that's why I looked at it more right here. And you can see here it's a wick against the wall here. We have the 50 period moving average sitting here. So this is going to be an area of liquidity where there's going to be a lot of orders here. As it's selling off, it'll be absorbed by buyers. So you can see they took everybody's stop here, came down, and now they're starting to push back up. Now, what I'm looking to see here again, we're seeing a transition, right? Is how far is it going to go down for the month? Is this the demand wick for the month? I think it is for Cardano. I think we could very much see Cardano at least tap up to that 73-cent area. If not, definitely that 77 cents area where we're going to see it push up, and most likely into this month continue it, I think, all the way back up either to the 8. Again, this is going to be a liquidity pull here. Give me 1 second. The liquidity of that 86 area, 86-cent area. And if it really finds some legs and wings to get going, it could be potentially touching that 95 to 98 area here. So it all depends on what they're going to do. Again, if we see a sell-off in Bitcoin, then I expect, again, I do think we're going to see a rally in Bitcoin this month. I think we're coming down, putting in the demand wick. I just don't know if that demand wick was put in on the first week or or is it going to be happen this second week for the month, where we're going to see it go up and come down to go back up. So that's where I'm a little hesitant, but I think for ADA, that we could see this local low and see either go up then come back down, creating a high. So it looks something like this. Boom. Boom, boom,
Boom.
Right, is what I think. But we'll see what happens, but that's what I'm expecting to see. And you could play this play here by basically looking at the markets as it moves. One of the things I'm looking at as well is this area, like I brought up, that 86 and this other area here before. And this, I really love this as well. When you start to see the 8 and the 20 price moving up, even though we're seeing price move up, but we're seeing the crossover still headed up. It's a really strong bullish sign, especially if it's on a weekly zone. So for me, I'm sitting there going like, ooh, that baby's getting ready to pop, it looks like. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm expecting ADA to get going here and to see it kind of pop to potentially those local highs here. Sitting around that 119.90 or $1 119 area here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens.
Pixie, smile for the camera.
Yes.
There you go.
I posted a screenshot in a room of while you were just talking. And as usual, the screenshot doesn't grab everyone at the right time, except for the person taking the picture, because they know.
And like I was like super focused on it, right? Because Pedro's like teaching, so I'm like, yeah, I'm in here. And then he takes the most unflattering screenshot.
It happens. I'm used to it. I don't think he's ever given me a good picture.
I've tried. I'll click it 75 times in a row, and I'll go through it because Pedro's expressive when he talks, so he's moving the mouth and the face and all that. And there's at no point where you could pause it and grab just a smile.
Look,
Or
you
like
do
the
that,
crazy
Pedro.
smile.
I'll smile, and then he can grab a screenshot.
There you go. There you go.
There we go. A more flattering pic posted in
I think
the room.
that's the ADD in him because we're very expressive for sure.
Always. I just recently found out that I was a loud talker and did not know it. And for almost my
That's
whole
news to you?
It was. I didn't know. I'd go in public places, and then I had a friend of mine goes, "Dude, why do you talk so loud?" I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Dude, you know you're doing it." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "No, dude, you are a loud talker." I go, "I'm not a loud talker. What are you talking about?" And he goes, "You ever notice wherever we go, people always look at you?" I go, "I just thought because I was that good looking," and I'm being honest. I swear. And then
They're like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
It's exactly how he goes, "Dude, you're the
Like, why is he screaming?
That's exactly what it was. I was like, so there, all of a sudden, I realized I'm not as special as I thought I was.
Well, how did you, interestingly, how did you work that out of your speech? Speech is something you learn your whole life, and it's difficult to just change it.
Well, I'm really good at correcting myself. If you know anybody here in my life who pointed out something that is legit, right, like legitly wrong with me, I, for whatever reason, because of, I think the trauma that I went through as a child, right, like abuse, right, if you didn't correct, you would get hurt. And so mentally, somehow, some way, I've been able to, like, if I see a real issue, I can correct it quick, because for whatever reason, my brain goes, that's going to cause pain. This causes trouble. Turn that off. And I swear, bro. So that's how quickly I can do it. And I've done it by multiple things, right? Now, if I think that, oh, that's just silly, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to switch, that's dumb, then it stays. But if I sit there and I realize, because when you're a loud talker, you typically get more, I go to New York, I go to places, Boston, and so being a loud talker, not realizing that you're a loud talker, people pay attention, and you get attention that you shouldn't want to get. So I sat there, and when I realized that, I was like, okay. So now, like, wherever I go, I'm so conscious of it. Like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You having a good day? Cool. Like, I almost borderline whisper. Like, if I'm not, like, that's how I train myself now. Like, almost. And if the person has to lean in a little, then I gauge it based off of their leaning in.
You pick it up a notch.
Yeah, but I'm basically starting off the whispers so that, maybe.
So have you ever had your hearing checked? Like, have you ever
That's
been
what I
to an
was gonna ask.
audiologist?
So yes, I have. So
Because a lot of times that is what matters, and that's why your inflection changes in your voice, is because you don't have the natural like reverb, I guess. So you just don't speak as loud, or you speak too loud because you can't hear yourself.
Well, I thought no. So the reason
Just
why
a thought.
when I was in the military, I went for the rescue swimming program, and you have to have almost perfect hearing, and so I got into it. So I had perfect hearing. It was just that. And here's the thing: when I'm with you, personally, one-on-one, my voice is normal. If I get excited, it gets loud, and when I'm with you. But ultimately, like, it's normal when ask Tom, when it's me and him. I'm very like quiet. I'm not speaking loud. So it's just simply like, I think on a subconscious level. And it was funny. It stems all the way back from one of my high school buddies that I found out that I found out from a friend of mine. And so I had to find out, I go, when did it start? And it stems all the way back to when I was in high school, hanging out with a buddy of mine, where And the only reason why I brought this up, I called him up because I was like, okay, I hung out with this person, ding, ding. So I followed it all the way back. And then I go, bro, have I always been he goes, no, man, you're not a loud talker. I don't think you are. But he goes, bro, do you know what? My son is a loud talker. And then I go, okay, does your wife talk loud? He goes, oh no, she very much has a soft voice. And I go, aha, bro, your kids do not just get loud. They mimic everything from your voice patterns to the way you speak to how you speak as well as what you speak. They literally mimic you. And so I told him, I said, bro, if your wife has a soft voice, that means you're the loud talker, which means
you're loud. Right?
That is the beginning.
That's so funny.
It was great. It was absolutely great. So that's how I learned that I was a loud talker. And now I try to speak in a very whispery, sultry voice, just so that I don't. I'm like, hey guys, or what is it? Hey, you guys.
I think that Striking has turned the music on so that he can kick us off.
That is the outro music playing.
Your voice reminds me of a comedian, Chris D'Elia. I don't know how to say his last name, but Pedro, you sound so much like him. He has a skit called Drunk Girls, because I swear you guys sound identical.
So random.
Where he's like, so random. Yes, that is every time I hear you, I think about that. So you're going to have to work so random somehow into the show at just random times. Not everything's random. I love that skit. Dude. But you you remind me so much of him.
Yeah, he's good. He's an awesome comic, man. That was an old skit. I've actually done a little bit of stand-up in Connecticut. It is really rough here. Even Joe Rogan said
so much trouble. Papa Striking over there shaking his head at us.
I saw Joe Rogan on Dave Chappelle's skit the other day from a long time ago. And they're out asking people in the streets. Chappelle's pretending to be a white guy or something, and he's got Joe Rogan holding cue cards for him, and he's in the internet. And the camera just gets Joe for a second, and it's Joe Rogan. He's got hair and everything. He's this tall, and Joe's a short guy, and I was like, there's Joe Rogan in a Dave Chappelle skit, being his technical assistant or something like that. It was pretty funny. Anyway, but speaking of funny is that it's at that time of the day in which the show comes to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone from the Elon Tried group. I'm glad that Pedro and I kicked that off with a show about Elon trying his best and glad that it's turned into a meme. May it go to $1 billion there, Pixie, and we obviously will be following this, pretty much every day. So that's a good thing. Of course, good luck with Ladies of Sol and getting that back on track. Congratulations on getting your contract back. May you move forward with you and your team on that as well. Pedro, thanks for going over the charts today on everything. Got the Bitcoin on the bot here. I'm waiting for that little pullback to come in before aping into it again. No, I don't ape into Bitcoin, but I do little things at once as I learn here. And obviously get some good information for everybody involved about how the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and institutional money affects your crypto bags and how that works. And obviously, if you pay attention to our show, you'll hear a lot more about that on Technical Tuesdays, which is when, Pedro?
Tomorrow.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Pedro, on behalf of Pixie over here, our guest du jour, and Pedro Garcia, our crypto chart analyst here, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another episode of this award-winning show. Yes, I awarded myself the award for that, and Pedro too. So as I say, someone's got to win, and you will win if you come back and watch us tomorrow. So be there.
Bye.